My name is Alosa. I'm an illustrator, a freelance artist. So I mainly work from home. That's my office. But at times I go to malls or events. So, yeah.
Okay. So what is art to you?
Mm, art, um, art is something broad. Maybe I can say it's how someone expresses their creativity in different forms, in different fields. It can depend on how creative someone is and how they how can I say, like how they appreciate their creativity in the field they're in. It doesn't matter which field, even if it's a doctor, a teacher, as long as they do it as artistically, that's art. Yeah.
So when you create art, what do you expect from the viewer? So because the people who don't understand what art is, or they just view it for the sake, like, okay, it's pretty.
Mm.
So what do you expect as an artist when you're creating something for the audience?
Um, for me, when I'm creating art, that is for me. It's my way of entertaining people or giving people something to consume, something that they'll appreciate in the long run. So when I'm making art, I make sure it's something that is worthy to put out there, and even if I'm charging for it, it's worth paying for it. So it has to be something that is, when a consumer consumes it, they appreciate it, not something that I'm just doing for the sake of it.
Okay. So why become a sketch artist? I assume maybe you were exposed to
Mm.
different kinds of arts.
Mm.
Why become a caricature artist?
Um, since I was okay, started drawing since I was in nursery school, all the way growing up to maybe high school to college. But there I used to do it informally, like just for fun. Just so I was mainly exposed to drawing because of the equipment I had close to me at that time. Like when I was young, pencil and papers were readily available. So that's the form of art that I was exposed with for a very long period of time. So, and also when it came to learning art in school, it reached a point whereby we started being taught art. So it became hard for me to maybe explore other types of arts out there. But now I just kept on improving on what I knew as my way of doing art. That was sketching and drawing. And also another thing is that I was exposed more on caricatures through newspapers, editorial cartoons, like Gado's cartoons. And there was this head-on commission by John Kiare, who is the current MP of, I don't know where he's, somewhere around, I don't know where his name. Okay, he's an MP somewhere, yeah, around Nairobi. But his art is what is one of the inspirations that I ride on up to now. Yeah, I liked his style and also Gado, and that was the main thing when it came to reading the newspaper when I was young. Just look forward to editorial cartoons. Yeah, and I used to trace them and stuff like that. That's what kept on I kept on drawing, and also keep on when I was in high school. Um, I used to love those matatu graffitis. Yeah, so every time I saw a new matatu with new graffiti, I used to look at how the drawings were done, and I used to memorize drawing. So I memorize, I go home and try to remember the drawing I saw, and I kept on trying. Yeah, that was one of my way of practicing my art and stuff like that. Yeah, remember decorating. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand that you studied something completely different
Yeah.
in your university education.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Um, I did IT in Record Karen campus. The reason why I did IT it's because I wasn't convinced when I was young that how an artist can make a living. So I had to look for something that is believable that I can rely on as a form of employment. That is what I thought to myself. So I did that, completed, then got a job, an IT job, but I did it for like 2 or 3 and a half, around 3 years. Yes, after 3 years, I quit the job because I didn't feel the fulfilling when I was working as an IT career. So, but during my job times, I used to do my art as a part time thing, like on the side, the job. Yeah. So, but then at some point, I just decided, let me just try out going full time and see how it pans out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to that experience of having tried at full time, how have you found the experience? Have you managed to sustain yourself completely through art? What's the story?
Yeah, yeah. It's been a journey. I can't say it's easy because quitting a job, it's something, it takes a process. It depends. There are some people, it takes them a short period of time to catch up or to be able to be fully self-reliant. But for me, it took time, like around 1 to 2 years, just trying to gather up myself, to figure out what kind of art. Actually, in that period, I was trying to figure out where my clientele will come from. So one of the things that helped me is exposing myself, putting my art out there through social media. So that's where most people saw my art, and that's how I was discovered by some media personalities who invited me for some interviews because I've done a couple of them with some mainstream media like KBC, KTN, K24. Yeah. So that has also helped me to get more clientele up there who actually saw what I'm doing, and they saw the reason why they can maybe buy my art or invest in my art.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're trying to through this interview, we're trying to inspire the next generation of
Mm.
artists. Why, like how, like for you, you said between the one you had like around 1 to 2 years where you were
Mm.
trying to
Mm.
be fully
Mm.
self-reliant. What you were you doing
Mm.
on the side?
Um, on the side, I was still doing art, though not caricature. So I was trying to balance different forms of art. Like if I see this kind of art, like I tried portrait, like doing these realistic portraits. Yeah, I tried realistic portraits and trying to balance there to kind of fill the gaps, and also I tried to do some other small jobs like designing logos, graphic design, sort of. But when I was done with when I was now at the point whereby I could just fully rely on caricature, I put this other stuff aside. Like, so I started focusing fully on caricature because that's where I felt I was happy doing, or I was fulfilled when I was doing caricatures. So I settled there. Yeah.
So what would you tell an up and coming
Mm.
artist who wants to venture fully into art
Mm.
rather than what is considered the best way to
Mm.
survive, like
Mm.
how you did IT? So what is an advice you can give them, or a way you can
Mm.
tell them, okay, you can
Mm.
you can think about quitting your job, but
Mm.
jipange kwanza
Yeah,
ama
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Actually, yeah. Um. Okay, I think there are two categories of people who I can trace to.
Mm-hmm.
One, maybe three. One is the category of whereby this person, maybe they have joined high school or they're in high school, or they're thinking of joining high school. I would recommend, if they're going to join high school, they look for a school that has art class or art as a subject. Like when you have computer or agriculture, now
Mm-hmm.
there is art.
Yeah.
Yes, they look for one that has art to expose them. And another category is for people who are they are maybe in their jobs, and maybe they are doing different kind of jobs, but they are doing art also. For them, I can advise is they can still do both. If they are good with their jobs, the other job they're doing, they can still do art on the other side. Because I know a couple of people who have normal 9 to 5 jobs and they still doing art. It's still possible. So I suggest that they keep doing what they're doing. Not okay. And for those who are thinking of quitting, it won't be easy. So they have to have a plan. So they have to sit down, make long-term plans, like maybe they sell so that they can buy maybe equipment or stuff to help them now to transition from their working jobs to now being a full-time artist. Because you can't just jump. Because for me, I had to like also have the sales sector and plan. So they have to do that, and also they have to. And for those who are still trying to figure out how to get clientele, they have to keep on posting their artworks in their social media. Expose, and also another thing is they have to go to galleries. Galleries the easiest place to get connections, not social media. Something I learned. That's how I got most of the connection. Like going to at galleries is where you'll find art directors, all the big names in art. They go to galleries to buy art to get inspiration. That's where you get most of the contacts. So I just um, encourage them to look for galleries. There are many in Nairobi. You can mention a few like there's Kuona Trust, there is one of at Gallery Circle Art, then there's another one. There's so many. There's so
Okay.
many. Even in the Alliance Francaise,
Mm.
yeah, they have some art shows there.
Yeah.
Go to Institute. Yeah, they can go to these shows. They'll meet different kind of people there who are in the art industry, and they'll guide them and they'll share and they'll maybe also invest in them. Yeah.
So I know people who are studying subjects like fine art in universities,
Mm.
and most of them are in a state of despair
Mm.
because they feel like there isn't
Mm.
enough markets in
Mm.
Kenya for
Mm.
artwork. So what do you think as an artist? Is there enough art? Is there enough market for art in Kenya? Can we survive as a country on? Can we capitalize more on
Mm.
art? What do you think?
Um, yes and no. Yes, in this sense. Yes, in that you can survive knowing you can just try to, let's say, you can test the waters like you do. You see what people like and what you like and what you can produce best. So maybe let's say you're doing different forms of art. You ask yourself which one does it get positive response from people, or which one does it give you like maybe proper income. And also, I know in this base that okay, in Kenya we don't have, most Kenyans don't have that proper purchasing power of art. But that doesn't mean you stop making it, because you can also cross the borders, not just rely on Kenya. Because for me, I don't just have clients in Kenya. Sometimes I get clients from abroad. So you don't just have to rely on clientele in Kenya. You can try. That's why I was talking about social media. There's a way when you expose yourself to your artwork on social media, you can cross borders without even struggling. So you find yourself getting different clients from different parts of the world. Yeah. So just my point is just to put yourself out there. don't lock your art with yourself. Just put it out there. Let people see what you do, and that's when you figure out like if you are selling or not, and if you are not, you just look on how to maybe improve on your skills, and also just accept criticism. It helps. Sometimes it might be your work, maybe it's not as per the standard of what people expect. So it's good to accept criticism. That's what has also made me to grow. Just accepting criticism and improving on it. When I do in malls, um, color I charge 800 per face. Black and white is 500 per face. And when I'm taking digital commissions, they start from 5K. 5K, which is the least, and it's head to shoulders. So I draw just up to here. Yeah. But now when I go the rest of the body, like full body, it goes to 9K there. Per person, that is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have two last questions. One is just, do you pay tax?
Yes, I do.
In how have you linked your artwork in terms of business that the government can recognize?
Um, I have a group. We have a group, me and my colleagues. So we formed a company. So that's how we pay our tax. Like every job we get through that company, we pay tax. Like we are very compliant with that. And in that group, it also helps us to get jobs easily. When you go somewhere to a corporate office as an individual, they ask for so many papers,
Yeah.
business papers. So you can't do that if you are a self-employed person. You have to be there, an entity, that a company can trust, that they can say we invest in you, and we know if anything happens, we know where to get you. Yeah. So that's why we formed a company. It's called Cartoony Company. Just do caricatures.
All of you
Yes.
in the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's the person you think you worked for that you found to be the most, let's say, influential or the best you've ever done?
There are many. Like in terms of client, or just a client, or just somebody.
Even just somebody, according to you, just one.
Ah, I can mention. Okay, there are many, but one. But most of my clients who I can say the best are Nigerians and maybe Americans.
The
Yeah.
best in terms of how
In
they pay.
terms, not just pay,
Mm-hmm.
how even when they approach me for to get artwork, they approach me in a, can I say, is a decent way, or they are more appreciative. They come, they know what they want. Like they come, they know what caricature is, and once I've done something for them, they know, they understand. They say this is caricature, and they love it. Now, but you find even there's some good Kenyans, but most of Kenyans don't know what caricature is. So sometimes they commission me, and once I've done the work, they're like, hey, now what is this? So they don't get that concept of caricature. Yes, so sometimes I have to explain even before doing it. Like I explain, this is what I do, this is how I do it. So if you're okay with it, you can let me know to go ahead with it. If no, then that's okay. So it's okay. It's still something that is growing. That's why we formed the company. That's another reason why we formed the company, so that we can have an entity whereby we can use to push our caricature agenda out there, so that more Kenyans can know that caricature is a good thing. It's not something to be scared of, or it's not. We don't do it to maybe insult or intimidate someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just something fun.
It's just a mode of
Yeah,
entertainment.
yeah, just like anything else, like music. And it's just an entertainment art. It's more of an entertainment art.
I would like to know, like, what made you know that caricature is the one? Is it how it made you feel? Is it the thing that you are best at?
Mm, Um, okay. One thing that convinced me is that there was a time I went to my very first art exhibition. Very first. I went in village market. So I met some guys there who saw my art. I showed them my art. Told them, I'm an artist. And then I showed them different types of drawings I'm doing. Then one guy told me, by the way, you keep on doing more of caricatures. Can Kamuliza, why? Told me, this is where you're strong, man. Like, this is what you should focus on. Now from there, it's when I went home and I told myself, yeah, really, it must be true because I looked at most of my drawings. I felt caricature was more strong. And also another thing is that I felt caricature is more challenging. I love something that is more, it's not easy, like just portrait drawing. I like something that keeps me on the edge, like, yeah, like it gives me purpose why I'm doing it. Yeah, that's why I chose caricature. Yeah,
And what's the most fulfilling bit about your work?
just to see my clients happy.
See your clients.
Yeah, laughing, happy. That's the best thing.
Awesome
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Mm.
and then let us know where people can find you.
Uh, like I'm found in almost all social media
So,
accounts. Yeah, like on Facebook, I'm Alosa Arts. On Twitter, I'm Luis Alosa. Uh, Instagram Luis Alosa. TikTok Luis Alosa. Also YouTube Luis Alosa.